Shalom uvracha. Today we'll talk about Hanukkah, Be'ezrat Hashem. And as we told last time, Chazal says that our rabbis said that Greece is a darkness. And as we told last time, they could say different words, like they are evil people, bad people, they are criminal, I don't know, all kind of things you can say about them. But why darkness? And in order to understand that, we should remember that everything that exists in Judaism is always symbol of something. For example, the water. What does it mean water really? Water is symbol of Torah. And Ma'ameh Torah. It's written, it says, Chazal says. They say, not just water is symbol of Torah. They say, Ein Ma'im, there is no such a thing, water, except one solution, that this is a Torah. Why? You as you cannot live without water, you cannot live without Torah. Is water, it gives you flourishing and all kind of good things. So Torah and all kind of other comparison between them. But this is a symbol. Also, earth and heaven, it's a symbol of matter and spirit. And so what darkness, it's symbol of what? Darkness. And Rav Kook says that a symbol of darkness, it's fragmental view. It's difficult to explain, so I'll give you examples and then you understand. It's a particularity. This is a darkness. Fragmentarity. What does it mean, fragmentarity? It means like this. If blind person come to this room, or someone in darkness come to this room, and he'll feel that he's holding some pen, he doesn't know that close to this pen there is also a page, or how is it, sheet?
Yes.
Sheet. Or he doesn't know that there is whiteboard. He knows only that. And if you know that that exists there also, he doesn't know that this thing also there. He perceives everything by itself. And only in light you can see all picture together, all story. You see this, that, everything. And only then you see full and real picture. But in darkness, you perceive only details, fragment of something. And that is the idea of our perception in reality. And we learn, Torah teach us how to bring light to the world, how to learn to perceive reality as it is, in oneness, in wholeness. Not just that happened to me and that happened to me, and here I did something and this and things that didn't connect to each other. So what is, why this, I was saying something else. And all our perception is perception like something like illusion. We really don't perceive all picture. Our brain works in that we perceive details usually. That is what, and that was Greeks' ideology. They used to say they call that they have analytic way of thinking, analytic, and what it is analytic, that you split, you divide, you cut, analysis. That is the way of how you divide the life, like in different subjects, and that gave them a lot of good things because they concentrate on something special. They had a lot of achievement in that. It was very good. Analytics way of thinking. But why it's bad? Why it's darkness? Why Chazal relate to that like something bad? Because when you divide everything and you perceive that as a thing itself, by itself, with no connection to other, it makes in your heart you relate to other things in the world like something that it's not you, something strange to you, something alien to you, something weird, different from you, and your relation to this thing is to something to something that it's strange. Not strange that it's weird, but stranger. Somebody that it's not you. And that brings to hatred between people. Because you are different. You are and hatred brings to that you relate to other people as enemies. Not just stranger, not just you hate him, his enemy. Like Romans used to say, homo homini lupus. Man to man, it's a wolf. That is, it was their ideology. Homo homini, man to man, is wolf. That it's your enemy. And Judaism said, no, stranger, it's you. You should love him. Ve'afta l'reacha kamocha. You should love your neighbor. Just a moment, I want to write here. When I learned with you, I remember different things. So I suddenly remember what said Sartre. He says, it's very famous expression of Jean-Paul Sartre. He says, you know what it is, hell?
Other people.
Somebody else, yeah, it's other. You remember how he said it in French?
No, but I would love to know.
There is I forget it. I knew this expression. Éther, it's another, and the hell in French.
Is Diable?
Uh-huh.
Diablo?
No. Diablo, it's
Inferno, something. From the word inferno.
No, hell. They have you have a phone. You can find. Tell me, but don't look for hell. Look for Sartre said this and that. You understand this approach that they approach to life to other people, and Judaism says No. It's you know how Judaism relate to other people. They say, really, you. It's just one of revelation of me, one of aspect of me, and me myself is one of aspect of you. But we are so different. We have no connection between other. Yeah, right. Like you don't have any connection with your kidneys to your liver. You have some connection? No. You identified yourself with your legs? No. But you know that it's part of you. In the same thing, you are part of me, and I part of you. I am your another version of you.
But because of the soul, or just in...
Yes, we have all one soul, and this soul reflect in different personalities, but it's just different shades of the same soul, the same one.
Fragment of soul, fragment of Hashem.
It's yes, you're right. We are like a fragment of Hashem, and they relate to each person like individual, and that you can find even in language. In Latin language, individual, it's somebody that you cannot divide it. What does it mean, division, in English, in Hebrew, in French? Division, it's to divide, right? And individuation, not be divided. It's impossible to divide it. It's you are a thing by yourself. You are something in yourself. And in Hebrew, you say to individual that he is prat v'klal. There is prat v'klal. Prat is someone that you are prat. It's like in English, part of. I am part of oneness. And so why just a moment. Yeah. Yeah. So why normally we don't perceive each other like part of us? And normally we hate each other sometimes, and we are angry to each other sometimes, and we relate to each other sometimes like enemies and all that. It's because we after the sin of man, Adam, his perception of reality was broken, divided, and he started to perceive all reality like in fragmental way, like this is by itself and this by itself. Though that logically I understand that this whiteboard cannot exist without this how say this? What it is? Marker. Without this marker, and this marking wouldn't exist without this word. That I understand logically, but in my perception, I think that this is by itself and that is by itself. Why? It's because we have our real perception was broken, was full in parts. Now, And that because of sin of a man, of Adam. Interesting that in modern physics they also get to the same conclusion, but only by learning the quantum mechanics and the physics. I'll tell you a short story, how it happened, how they came to the same conclusion. You know that like in individual, it's undivided. So in matter, it calls atom. Atom is something undivided. Tom, it's to divide. Atom, it's not divided in Greek's language, in Greece. Now, what they thought like this: if you split something, this piece of paper, you'll split more and more and more and more. When will be the littlest part of this paper? What will the most little small part of this paper? They thought that you'll come to some point that it's impossible already to divide this. Before you divide it, it was molecular of this paper. You can come to molecular. You can divide molecular as well. You'll have an atom. But atom, can you divide it? They say no, it's impossible to divide it, to split atom. And that's why they call it undivided atom. Okay. And when modern physics, they start to divide it, atom, they knew that it's possible. They find much more components of this atom. Electron, proton, positron, neutrino, quark, mesonim. There are a lot of small things that they consist in this atom. Okay. And suddenly they saw very strange things in atoms. Very, very strange. They saw that electron can be, they saw such a thing that it's impossible in our micro world, macro world. There is micro world below the atom, and above the atom, it's macro world. In macro world, here works laws of physics by Newton. Newton formalized few laws of physics, and that's how it works. In atom, they have different laws, that they are unlogical. We cannot understand how it works, but it's reality. That they show that not theoretically, they show it practically in the reality, how different things that we cannot even imagine. For example, the same thing can be in two different places. In Hebrew, it's called zera quantit. I don't know how it's in English, but it's the same photon or electron can be in two different places in the same time. Zera quantit in Hebrew. In English, it calls quantum intangible, intangible, something like this. It's like a connection, like a. If you ask in Google, you'll find it is electron in two different places.
Yeah, I get that. I just wanted to spell it in Hebrew.
In Hebrew, shzira, shazur. Shzira. Shin zayin reish hei. Shzira.
ומה המילה השנייה?
Quantum. Shzira, quantit.
אוקיי.
Shzira, quantit.
How is that possible?
It's impossible, right?
Because it means that an electron break his movement
Yeah,
and go
exactly.
somewhere else,
Exactly.
which doesn't happen naturally.
Yes,
unless the-
you're right. You're right. This is what I tried to explain you, that they have different physical laws, and it's not theory. It's practically you can show. You can see and show that in laboratory how, and the same thing in two different places, and this and distance between them can be millions kilometer, and they stay in the same place in different places in the same time. One electron. I can even, if you're interested, I can explain you how we know that it's the same electron. Maybe I show you, or maybe I explain you. We have a little bit time, a little bit, not a lot. Look. Oops. There is an experiment that they make. One electron is here, and it moves like this electron. Let's say that it calls spin of electron. Moves like this, right? And this another electron. It's here. It's the same electron. They say that it's here, and it moves like this. And distance between them, they start from few meters and they got to kilometers. Now, if you move this electron and you force this electron to move in different direction, this electron immediately change this direction and start to move like this. Okay? Now, in order that information will go from this to another, it should be the quicker it can be in a speed of light, right? Speed of light, it's 300,000 kilometers in 1 hour. In 1 second. In 1 second. I'm sorry, yeah. In 1 second, 300,000 kilometers in second. And they changed they change immediately. So the quickest thing in this world can be light, and still this electron know that you change something here. So it proves that they are in the same place, but we perceive them like they are in different places, but really they're in the same place. Or two different electrons in two different, the same electron in different places. That's how they prove. Now, another weird thing was in this world that all electrons in the world, all of them, they have negative. How is it? Charge. Yeah, negative charge, and all of them the same mass. Mass. Yeah? Their mass, if you're interested, it's 9.1 and no 6.5 and all different 9 multiplied to 10 minus 31. This is the mass of electron. It's very, very small. Yeah? Of kilogram, of course, yes. This is very, very small. And the same, all electrons the same. Why? Why this the same? Why they cannot be together? Why they can change? Why they, and scientists didn't know why they're the same electron in all the world. One day, it was there is one of the greatest physicist. One of the greatest physicists in last century. It was the guy. His name, Jewish scientist. His name, Richard Feynman. He get a Nobel Prize for his researches, and his speech in this in Nobel Prize ceremony, he told one story. He says, once my friend John Wheeler called me. It was, he didn't say that, but I know from a different sources. He called him in middle of night, in 3 o'clock at night. He called him. He says, Feynman, I know why all electrons they have the same charge and the same mass. He said, why? Because this is one electron. There is no two electrons in the world. All electrons that you know that exist in atoms, all of them, it's one electron. It's not two electrons and not billiards of electrons. It's one. One? There is only one electron in the world? Yes, there is only one electron in the world. How it can be? He says, it's our perception divide this electron to parts, and that's why we perceive them as different, but really it's one electron. How it can be? And now I'll explain how it can be. The thing is that we imagine to ourselves that electron is some tiny marble ball, like we saw it last time, like something like some particle, right? But really, electron, it's a wave, as we saw last time. And this wave, it doesn't look, we usually imagine to ourselves, what it does mean electron? There is atom built from protons, and around atoms, there are electrons that they are move in different directions, and those number of electrons around protons make them some special atom. All this circle, this is atom. All this together, this is electron. They are divided to proton and electron, right? That's how we think. Really, it's not like this. Really, each electron, it's a wave. It's not point like here. So it's look like this electron. That all that full of movement, it's one thing, and it's not here it moves. No, all that is electron. Electron is dispersed in our reality, in our space. Can I say like this in English? Disperse here, like a dispended,
Scattered.
like expanded.
Spreaded.
Yes, or expanded.
It's like a blanket. It's actually.
Yes,
covering everything.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yes, that is electron. Okay, so why we perceive it in this way? He said it's our brain breaks this reality to parts. And I want to show you how he, first of all, I want to read you that in a Nobel lecture. It's written like this. Richard Feynman says that I receive a telephone article one day at the graduate colleague in Princeton from Professor Wheeler, in which he said, Feynman, I know why all electrons have the same charge and the same mass. Why? Because they are all the same electron. That's what it's written here. It's a part of Nobel Prize lectures. You understand? It's something very serious, something very great event in science. Now I'll show you how it look like. This is the picture. You can put it like a straight now. Yeah, closer to here. Yeah, exactly. This is the picture. Electrons look really like this. This is the electron. In part that blue, different like a part. Okay. Now that it's like bars of our perception. That's how it makes how we divide this electron, and that's how we see electron. We see each time just one thing, and another thing, and another thing, another thing. But really, all that is one. Now, after that we understand that, now we go back to Judaism. We perceive all reality through those bars. It's an English bar, right? Bar. You can see like this, and we see each other and everything that exists. We see in this way. But Torah teaches us to open our mind and to know that you can see different things. Here you see tree, cat, dog, and cloud. And you should know that they are different aspects of the same oneness. And this idea Torah teaches us in different ways. For example, in menorah, in Beit HaMikdash. What does it mean, menorah? It takes one monolith, and you create from one monolith all menorah with seven branches. Torah teach you, and if you make menorah not from monolith, it's not kosher. It have to be made from one that became something in different branches. This is like a idea, and that's what we learn with our discussions of our Chazal. Chazal says this opinion, and he says different opinion. They start to argue, and they make a lot of arguments. All Gemara, full of like discussions. But really, it's not. They don't contradict each other. They show different aspects of the same reality. They show you this part of reality, and his opponents show another part of reality. You can see only this part, and he can see only this part. And when they make conversation, they don't try to convince each other that he is right or he is right. Their arguments not who say true and someone who lie, who is right and who is wrong. It's not a question. How it's called in English, in Hebrew, Elu ve'elu divrei Elokim chaim. all of them, they are aspect of God's revelation, of Shem revelation. Majority of all arguments of Chazal, they try to show you different parts of the same reality, like this whiteboard, and there is another part of whiteboard. It's another that you cannot see and I see. So who said that this is the main part? This is the best part. In my opinion, maybe main part of that it's another that you can use this part from behind. What's really whiteboard? And their argument of that, it's how they complete each other. But there is another aspect. What will be for halacha? Halacha, okay, maybe they say this is the main thing, and he said this main, okay, beseder. But they understand that his opponent, he's not stupid. He's not someone doesn't understand. He knows that he understands. What you say, he understands. Now, this example for lights. There is a bracha, like a blessing, when you light Borei meorei ha'esh. Baruch ata Hashem, Borei meorei ha'esh. In B'motzei Shabbat, we say, right? How we should say, Maor ha'esh or meorei ha'esh? Beit Shammai says, Maor ha'esh. Beit Hillel says, meorei ha'esh. Why Maor? He says, because this is the one light, one flame. Beit Hillel says, but you see, in this flame, there is different colors of this flame. There is a green even color sometimes in flame, and orange, and white even, and black. And that's what I want to emphasize when I make this my blessing. That Hashem appears in this world in different parts, different sides, different aspects. And Beit Shammai says, yes, of course, Beit Shammai saw that there are different colors in flame. He saw it. So why he says one? Because he says, but in the end, it's one flame. It's not two flames. And Beit Hillel, they saw that it's one flame, of course. So why they say meorei a lot? And that is because he says, how Hashem appeared in reality. Hashem appeared in reality that he everything is oneness, and that you should remember. Or you should remember that each shade, each aspect of reality, it's Hashem's revelation. What is more important? The same thing in Chanukah, that we light from first day, one candle, another candle, 2 candles, 3 candles, 8 candles, right? Beit Shammai says, no. In first day, you light 8, 7, 1 in the end. What's the argument? They argue what's a tendency in reality. Tendency that everything is go to oneness, or tendency that everything comes from oneness and appear in different ways. Who is right? There is no such a thing right. They try to understand what's the idea. stand behind this reality. So Hanukkah, it's our struggle, it's our war for who man is, what it is, a man, Adam. Greeks thought man to man, it's an enemy. Each part not connected to another part. We say no, everything is connected. In meantime, I think that Greeks, they win in this war. If you can see in all culture, in all art exists today, theaters, literature, connection between people, you can see that Greeks' ideology is main ideology. People hate each other, they want to get to themselves better than it's someone else. They care usually only about themselves, that it will be good to them. Each nation wants that it will be good to them and not another. All this perception of homo homini lupus, that's what today we have. And Chazal said that Hashem, he hid light for a future, or ganuz it calls, or ganaz letzadikim. He hid light when he created this light for future. And what it is, light, what this kind of light is, this is the ideology, this is the view, your view in the reality is oneness. Why it couldn't be in those times? Because evil people say, okay, we are also part of oneness. We are also part of goodness. And that's why Hashem hid this light. But in Hanukkah, it's a time that we can reveal this secret, this part of life, and we can say, no, really, there is oneness in this world, and even if you see that they win, you should know that will happen miracle, and Hashem will send you His light. And that's what happened in Hanukkah. We were almost destroyed, and suddenly comes Maccabee, and suddenly start a war against of them. Suddenly he win. The small group of people, they win the greatest army in those times. And in order to show to us that our victory, it comes from heaven, it didn't come from just our power. That's why happened this miracle with candle, to show us that Hashem's Ashgacha, and that in the end it will be big light. And about that we say, B'yamim hahem b'zman hazeh, in those days in our time. That's what he say. What we say when we light those lights. Anerot halalu b'yamim hahem b'zman hazeh. B'ezrat Hashem, we are in middle of this battle, of this for oneness of a man, and we will win, B'ezrat Hashem.